Opening scene. Mysterious forest. Misty. Spiders slowly crawling narration. Greater than they've haunted our nightmares. Amazed scientists. And built intricate traps that rival human engineering. But where did they come from? It patiently waits for its meal to brush against its web, at which point it quickly wraps up its meal and swallows it whole. Spiders have haunted our nightmares, amazed scientists, and built intricate traps that rival human engineering. Some were starting to creep onto land. Then came the Silurian period, about 430 million years ago. By this time, life on Earth had been on land for about 60 million years. Some brave arthropods ventured onto dry land, a world of harsh conditions and new opportunities. These scorpion-like creatures were more closely related to spiders than any other land animal. This spray contained nitrogen and is what allowed arachnids to flourish. The climate was warm and humid, which led to an explosion of insect diversity. These ancient spiders were small, only about the size of a modern-day ladybug. They were agile and quick, able to scuttle sideways at high speed. They also had spinnerets, allowing them to produce silk. But they used it for more than just safety. They combined silk with their venom to create sticky webs that they could use to catch their dinner. There were giant dragonflies with 30-inch wingspans soaring through the skies, and huge millipedes that looked like armored beetles were lumbering along the ground. These large, hairy spiders were the ancestors of today's tarantulas. Meanwhile, the ancestors of orb spiders were just getting started. They continued to evolve during the Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous periods, eventually leading to the diverse array of orb spiders we see today. This was also the age of the first true spiders. True spiders hadn't evolved yet, but this behavior may have played a role in their development. They were the first known silk producers, but they didn't use it to build webs. Instead, they used it to protect their eggs and build shelters. Chances are they've been perfecting their art of spinning webs for hundreds of millions of years. From catching their dinner to laying their eggs, these little creatures are truly masters of their craft. And while today's spiders build webs to catch their dinner, their ancestors used silk for a completely different purpose: defense. Their webs were sticky barriers designed to keep them safe from predators. They were the predecessors to both spiders and another group of arthropods, the myriapods, which include centipedes and millipedes. But where did they come from? And how did they evolve into one of the planet's most successful predators? Sadly, fossils are scarce. So scientists have had to rely on the fossil record of their marine relatives to piece together their evolutionary history. Fossils show that these early arthropods had many of the hallmarks of modern spiders: 2 body segments, 8 legs, and no antennae. They also had a mouth called a chelicera, hence the name chelicera. With these features, they were well adapted to life on land. But there was still a lot of evolution left to happen before we got modern-day spiders. And how did they evolve into one of the planet's most successful predators? But they did have a big advantage over other animals on land: their exoskeleton. While floppy and unstructured when wet, it dried out quickly in the sun, providing support and protection. As long as they could avoid being stuck in water, they were pretty safe. Scene 2. Ancient ocean animation, 500 million years ago. Narration. Greater than our story begins. Over 500 million years ago, when the Earth was ruled by strange marine creatures, spiders didn't exist yet, but their ancestors did. Tiny, shrimp-like arthropods crawling in ancient oceans. Scene 3. Early land arthropods walking on primitive land. Narration. Greater than then came the Silurian period, about 430 million years ago. Some brave arthropods ventured onto land. This was the beginning of a new chapter, one that would lead to spiders. Scene 4. Animation, showing evolution of spinnerets. Narration. Greater than around 380 million years ago, early arachnids appeared, scorpion-like creatures that could survive on land. Eventually, some evolved spinnerets, silk-producing organs, not for webs, but for protecting eggs and building shelters. Scene 5. Time-lapse showing evolution to modern spiders. Narration. Greater than fast-forward to the Carboniferous period, the age of giant insects. Here, true spiders were born. Small, agile, and now using silk, not just for safety, but to trap prey. In forests all over the world, there's a predator perfectly adapted to its environment. 500 million years ago, the Earth was a very different place. The continents were in a different configuration, and the oceans teemed with strange creatures like jawless fish. Spiders hadn't evolved yet, but their ancestors had been crawling in these seas for millions of years. They were tiny arthropods, resembling modern-day shrimp. They had a segmented body, a hard outer shell, and jointed legs. Today, we know them as chelicerates, a name that encompasses not only spiders, but also scorpions, mites, and ticks. But chelicerates weren't just swimming around in the water. But how did these early land dwellers evolve? For instance, these arthropods didn't have any of the key adaptations we associate with spiders today: silk, webs, or even eyes. But around 380 million years ago, early arachnids appeared. However, this wasn't very effective, so some arachnids developed another line of defense: a chemical spray that they could squirt at their attackers. Now let's fast forward a few million years to the Carboniferous period. The oldest known spider fossils date back around 300 million years to this period. The Carboniferous ended around 299 million years ago. During the Permian, the first tarantulas appeared. So the next time you're outside, take a moment to appreciate the amazing spiders around you.